All right, now time to let the cat out of the bag. And then we are talking of a very big cat. That's my special guest for today. For the second time in the over 5 years history of this program, we'll be hosting the state governor. So the big cat that I'm letting out of the bag, Chief Sylva, governor of Bayelsa State, is the Nigerian on focus this morning. Interesting, you say? Yes, that's what I think too. So no time to waste. Let's pay some bills and we'll be right back with our special guest this morning. Sylva is the Nigerian in focus this morning. It's a special edition of this program. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, you will be the second state governor that will be featuring on this program in our over 5 years of this program. Well, it's a record too. Welcome to the program, sir. Like I said, the governor will enjoy some support from one of his aides. Mr. Von Kemedi is on the program this morning. Von is Director General, Bayelsa State Due Process and E-Governance Bureau. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right, Your Excellency, the most topical issue now also involves you. 5 governors got tenure elongation. Do we call it tenure elongation or tenure continuation or whichever one is appropriate? But how does the government make you feel at the controversy that has attended this since last week?
For me, I don't think there is any need for any controversy. There was an issue of a situation where the judgment was given. And as far as I'm concerned, it was not a situation of tenure elongation at all. The Constitution of the Federal Republic guarantees a governor 4 years. The intendment of the Constitution may not be to elongate that tenure. The intendment of the Constitution also cannot be to shorten that tenure. Whichever way you go, somebody is going to be affected one way or the other. INEC goes for interpretation, and I feel that that was the right thing to do. Well, we went for interpretation because INEC said this is the situation. So the governors went for interpretation. And the courts have interpreted that tenure elongation, there is no tenure elongation in this matter, but that, in fact, it's something I would like to call tenure consolidation to make sure that we will have the right tenure. Because I don't think that Nigerians will expect that they should take away from my tenure, just as Nigerians will not expect any elongation. Now, there was a problem in the Constitution. If Nigerians did not know that there was no problem in the Constitution, they wouldn't have amended that Constitution. The Constitution has been amended right now because every Nigerian knew that there was a problem with that provision in the Constitution. So now we have righted that anomaly in the Constitution. So as far as I'm concerned, those of us who were affected before the writing of this anomaly should be allowed to at least go on with what the courts have said.
After all, your election was also nullified, and it brought with it a lot of maybe bad blood, but psychological depression. That here was somebody who has been sworn in as a governor. His election was nullified just 1 year in office, and he had to campaign all over again for votes and all of that.
And if you now say that you're going back to my swearing in of 2007, what was that swearing based on? That's the question.
On the result of 2007.
On the result of 2007, which the courts have annulled. So as far as I'm concerned, there is no issue here. But, well, you know, lawyers and the courts always make a lot of issues out of every situation. So we just watch. As for me, I'm just carrying on. As far as I'm concerned, the courts have spoken, and I am carrying on, and as if nothing.
Carrying on. Well, how now? Your campaigns are still going on, or you have demobilized the troops?
You know,
when I say troops, I mean the campaign troops.
Fortunately, there are still a lot of elections. It's not just about my election.
Okay.
The presidential election, which is very important to us, especially in Bayelsa State, and of course the election of the National Assembly members and the House of Assembly members, they are still carrying on. So, of course, the campaign train is one. We have consolidated the campaign in Bayelsa, the presidential campaign, the senatorial campaigns, and the House of Reps campaign, and the House of Assembly campaigns have been consolidated. So the train is moving. And anything the courts decide, we are ready for it.
Okay. Perhaps one lesson out of this, apart from the fact that that anomaly in the Constitution has been rectified, one big lesson out of this is that when you conduct elections and there are challenges to the results of the election, such challenges ought to be resolved before a winner is sworn in, so that we don't have this kind of overhang.
Yeah, that is the ideal situation, and that is what everybody expects. But I don't see how that can happen. You can imagine a situation where a case that has been in court since 2007 was only decided a few months ago in the case of Delta State. So I think it's not really for the governors to decide that. The courts also have a lot of role to play, and of course, the system in Nigeria has to also belly that situation. It will take some time before we can arrive there. I can see that very clearly.
Okay. All right. You said the campaigns are still going on. Let's talk about the campaigns. By the political configuration of Bayelsa changed. We had thought that Bayelsa is one homogeneous state, fully controlled by the PDP. I'm not aware any other political party had made inroads into Bayelsa since 1999. But with this now, with the present situation, it's like all of that is changing. You have people who previously were active members of the PDP who are elsewhere now. And a lot of people have said that Bayelsa is a state to watch. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I don't think there is anything to watch by any other party. Bayelsa still remains a PDP state. Of course, you know, there are people who may be aggrieved in a situation. In every situation, there are aggrieved people. And we have seen this before. People always go out of PDP and come back. But you see, the moral lesson is people, all of them have benefited. And whatever they are today was given to them by PDP. Whatever they are campaigning with, whatever their achievements are, were actually recorded under a PDP administration and a PDP appointment. So as far as the people are very aware of that, you can't fool them. A lot of people, because Bayelsans are intrinsically and inherently PDP people, so they are not going to move with you because you just moved. I have called the Labour Party, in the case of Bayelsa, I have called it the symmetry of PDP, where every person who is politically aggrieved goes to get buried. So I think people in the
would that apply to that would not apply to those states? People
I'm saying in the case of Bayelsa. Of course, Labour Party is very.
Will they pre-prove all of that?
I believe very soon it will. I'll be proved very right and correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me try to bring it forward here. The e-governance bureau and due process. Due process is. It was not to be something limited to the federal government. Perhaps, apart from Rivers State, Bayelsa is perhaps the only other state where you have due process in operation. Tell us about it. How has it aided governance and service delivery in Bayelsa State?
Thank you very much. Bayelsa State was in fact the first state in the...
Before Rivers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Maybe 2-3 years before Rivers. The first state to establish a due process office, and certainly up till now the only state to combine due process and electronic governance. And together these two entities in one deliver transparency and good governance to the people of Bayelsa State. In the first year of the operations of the due process office, we saved about 40% of the capital budget just by making sure that the costs are in conformity with the market. But subsequently, the savings have reduced. What that indicates is that
people are playing by the rules.
People are not playing by the rules, so the savings are reduced. The other thing which we were able to deal with is the process. In the past, you could meet the governor of the state at the airport with a proposal, and governor will say, turn your back. You turn your back, he puts the proposal on top of your back, approach it on your back directly to the accountant general, and you could go there and get payment. But now it's not possible. In the first 1 year, there was a lot of internal problems within the government, lots of commissioners complaining about phone. But with the support of the governor, everybody made sure that they followed the rules. And now we are all very clear about what the rules are. We know you have to get due process clear.